that?
Well, there are three layers for me to this. There are the constant phenomena you see with terrorist groups, which are often disenfranchised young men without alternative employment who do not have literacy that allows them to access the job market, but also literacy in their faith, because we know that people who are actually educated in Islam are less likely to join groups like Boko Haram. So often these groups prey on a lack of understanding about religion. Then you have regional issues, and there are some specificities about Nigeria and the history of northern Nigeria and also its position in relation to the rest of the subcontinent. And then you have these issues about the Sahel, the destabilization of the Sahel, the ungoverned spaces, the destabilization which Western powers have been complicit in. Yes. Destabilizing Libya, it's hard to overstate how much of an impact that has had on terrorism and people trafficking throughout the Sahel. Chad, Niger, Mali, northern Nigeria have all experienced the fallout, which the Western powers who toppled Gaddafi did not think through or care about what the effects on places like northern Nigeria would be. So there are very local issues, but there are also regional and global factors as well. And I think it's fair to say Boko Haram is one of the least understood terrorist groups in the world. People do not understand.
Well, some would even argue they're not a terrorist group.
And just to pick up on Aya's point, I actually did some work looking at international funding flows into Boko Haram. I say some work because it didn't get very far. It is incredibly difficult to trace any of the money that is going to Boko Haram. There are people who believe it's coming from global centres like London. It's almost impossible to find and stand that up. So there are journalists who are trying to unpick this. It is incredibly difficult to do, and it's another area that's not well understood about how Boko Haram function and how they could be prevented.
Well, it's hard to know how deep the rabbit hole goes.